Welcome back, everybody, to For Goodness Take. Today, we have Bowling Green State University guard Justin Turner. Justin, how are you today?
I'm good, Evan. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So today we're going to talk some basketball, banter back and forth, and all that good stuff. To kick it off, what is your earliest memory of basketball?
Earliest memory. Really, I would just say that my stepdad was a high school football coach at the school, elementary school that I went to, because it was a K through 12, and I went to the elementary part. So he was the high school coach, and he always had access to the gym. So I just remember on weekends and on Sundays, me, my brother, and my sister, we would go and just. I was so young at the time. We weren't really doing a lot of drills. It was kind of just playing, and that's when I realized I kind of really liked the sport, and just always figured out that that's what I wanted to do, whether it was over football, baseball, and all them other sports. So that's probably one of the earliest memories that I have of it.
When did you realize you could start going somewhere with it?
I want to say high school. I feel like when the offers came in, that's when you realize, you had a chance to play at a Division I level. Didn't really know what level, because I flirted with some high majors. The mid-major offers started coming in around my sophomore year. So around that time is when I really started to lock in and see that I could have a future with it.
Let's talk about that recruiting process. So what was your first offer? What was it like in general? And then why did you commit to Bowling Green?
Yeah, my first offer was Central Michigan. I remember it was right after an AAU game, and then my high school coach just told me that, I basically had the offer, and, it just felt pretty good. I was happy, but my high school coach was like, it's about to be a lot more coming in, so you just need to get used to it, and we just go about the process. And then as far as just picking Bowling Green, at the time it was the best option for me. When it came down to it, I was going to be in a situation just like my high school. It was close to home. Had a great relationship with the assistant coach, Coach Stacy. He just left for a job at Toledo Whitmer, because he was at University of Toledo right before he came to Bowling Green, and he recruited me at Toledo. So I had a really good relationship with him. And then, the rest is history. The head coach, Coach Huger, we talked about everything, and I just thought it was the best fit for me.
If you want to break the hearts of some college basketball fans, if you had a top three with Bowling Green included, who would the other two schools be?
If I like the teams.
Yeah, so like usually recruits have like a top four before they finally announce their.
Oh, okay, yeah. I do remember. My top three was Buffalo. The other two were Buffalo and Kent State.
So yeah, two other MAC schools pretty much.
Yep, exactly.
So when you committed to Bowling Green State, were the coaches of Buffalo and Kent State just furious with you?
They actually wasn't furious. Coach Sindroff is a real good dude at Kent State. And Coach Oates, who was at Buffalo at the time, he's at Alabama now. We had a pretty good relationship because he's from Michigan. He coached at a high school in Michigan called Romulus High School. And, I kind of knew him all throughout my middle school days and growing up, and knew the tradition he had at Romulus. So when he went to Buffalo, he was recruiting me as an assistant all the way to when he got the head job. So we had a pretty good relationship. So, everybody understood. And, the process was good.
Didn't you have a 30-piece against Kent State at one point?
I don't think I ever had a 30-piece against Kent. I put up some good numbers against Kent, but I don't ever think I had a 30-piece against them.
So you're kind of like a Kent killer is what you're saying?
Yeah, I hope so. I need to put up a 30-piece against them this year. So
That's true. So as we know, Bowling Green State and Kent State and Buffalo, for example, are in the MAC. So on the road, who's the hardest team to play in the MAC?
Man, I would either say Buffalo or Ohio. They have two of the bigger gyms. Actually, the MAC got some big gyms, man, big arenas. But I would say those two because the crowds never let up. And I'm sure this year it'll be different due to COVID and everything. But the past 3 years there, the crowds always come up and show out, and the atmosphere is just different. Those are two schools with rich tradition, especially in sports. So, those two it gets real rowdy.
What's hard about Buffalo, too, is that they have Ronaldo Seguin, who has the nastiest hesitation I've ever seen in my whole entire life.
Yeah, exactly. You can probably go on YouTube and find a whole compilation of just him hesitation people. And then you seeing them Florida gyms just go crazy and ridiculous for him because he's pretty good. So
I watch those on YouTube all the time because it's so satisfying just watching them do that.
no,
Like I
exactly.
play pickup with my friends and I try to copy that, but I just fall because what he does is just, you can't
Yeah,
copy that.
his body control is ridiculous.
It's incredible. Do you think he's the hardest guy you've ever had to guard?
He'd be up there. I haven't really guarded him yet because I usually guard maybe the 2 guard and I get switched on to the point guard late in the game. But I'm sure eventually, especially this year, I think I don't remember if he started last year, but I'll definitely probably guard him a little bit.
Well, you're gonna need some good luck with that. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it at all.
No, I already know. I'm gonna be heavy on my scouting report that night.
So currently, before you play Buffalo for the first time this season, who's the hardest guy you've ever had to guard?
Can I go from high school to college?
Whenever, just that one game when that guy
Mm-hmm.
gave you buckets and you couldn't do anything about it. Yeah, you can give me high school and college actually. That'd be cool.
There hasn't been. I'm trying to think. There hasn't been a sequence where somebody just gave me constant buckets and I was like, I can't guard them. But there's been like nights where it's like, this is a tough guard. And there was one in high school. It was Cassius Winston at Michigan State.
Okay.
So smooth and crafty and real good at angles and got one of the highest IQs I've ever seen. And then I say this year it was Skylar Mays and we played at LSU. He was so fundamentally sound. He's very strong, had good size, could finish with both hands, could shoot it, real good at probing and also knew angles well. So those are two were, so I say some of the hardest guards.
So 2 future pros is what you're saying pretty much.
Exactly.
It's a good list to have then.
Yeah.
So we all know that you go to Bowling Green State, the Falcons. What's been your favorite memory as a Falcon these past years?
Man, I want to say even though we lost, it was playing in the MAC championship. Just knowing how close we were. That was the year we were picked to finish last. Nobody really expected much of us. Had a 20-plus win season. We beat a ranked team. Buffalo was ranked that year. So overall, that's been my best memory. Even though we lost, I'll try to do everything I can to get us back to that point. Unfortunately, last year we got cut short. And, hopefully we can just get back to that point, just realizing how close we were and realizing that we were a pretty good team.
You had a major loss with Dylan Fry graduating. So how are you going to bounce back from that and win the MAC championship this year?
Yeah, no, just being a better leader for my team, holding people accountable. We're going to have big players step up this year. Daquan Plottin's going to take another huge step. He took a big step this past year. We got Caleb Fields coming back. I think he's going to take another big step. He's been working really hard. Got a different complementary pieces like Davin Ziegler, Chandler Turner. Trey Diggs is going to be another one that's huge for us. Janiah Gasson, Dylan Swinkle. So I think we're going to have some good pieces that a lot of people, probably won't expect much out of just because, we had a good team in the past, so not everybody played. But, each year people are going to step up and take that next role. So I think that is going to benefit us a lot.
What steps are you going to take? Because I know you averaged, I think, 18.8 points last season. So do you think you're going to increase your scoring output, or are you going to increase your assists or better defense? What is it that you're going to do?
When I look at numbers, the only numbers I really focus on is the numbers that can help me and my teammates. So, my coach, I talk to him all the time. I want to average more assists, want to average more rebounds. I never really worry about the points because I just know the points come. I never really try to force points. People watch my game. I don't just take bad shots. I try to stay efficient and, I try to play within the game and within our offense. So if points increase, then, I'll be happy about that. But if they don't and we win even more, if we win the championship, I'll still be happy about that. So, overall, just a better player and a better leader.
How have you become a better player from senior year high school to now grad senior year at Bowling Green State?
Oh, so much, man. So much has changed. I think my attention to detail has changed. Little things that I focus on. And it can be stuff that's just all off the court, just whether I'm watching film more or getting in better shape, eating better. I think all that translates to different things on the court. So the stuff I would say is not even basketball related because I've always worked hard on the court, always got my shots up, always been in the gym. That's never really been a problem. It's been the stuff that, that matters off the court.
What's been the hardest transition from high school to college?
When I first got here, I think the hardest transition was the physicality and the speed. And I still remember that first open gym of college, and I was just so tired because it felt like everybody was moving a million miles per hour. So I would say that's the biggest adjustment, just really focusing on your body. And then I got hurt that year too, my freshman year. It just wasn't really strong enough yet. So if I could do it over, I would really harp on those two as I was coming in.
That transition can be tough for some people, but even though you had
Exactly.
that little slump freshman year, you seem to bounce back super strong.
Yeah. Hats off to our strength coach, Coach Pat. They really worked with me a lot. Our athletic trainer, Rob Whitehurst, we still do work to this day to try to improve my body and make my weaknesses strengths.
What weaknesses do you want to become your strengths?
As far as in that aspect, just like my flexibility, my body control, and things like that. And these are things that has been getting better over the course of 4 years. But you can never stop working on anything. So those are the things that we focus on a lot, and just my overall strength. Make sure my legs are good. Cleaning up any like little knick-knack injuries that I have before a season and things like that.
What I'm kind of picking up on is that you're going to be kind of a combo of Zach LaVine and Ronaldo Seguin come season time. Is that what I'm kind of hearing right now?
Yeah. If I get any as explosive as Zach LaVine, I'll take that any day of the week. So I hope so.
If I could have like 1/40 of his vertical, that'd be amazing.
I agree with you.
So the biggest news with you this offseason was your decision to stay at Bowling Green State, and you've
Right.
chosen over schools like Missouri, Iowa State, and Marquette. What made you decide to stay at Bowling Green State, and what are those 4 schools in your top 4?
Man, staying at Bowling Green, I think I also kind of like my first decision. I thought it was the best decision for me, and going into the portal process. One thing that I told myself and my family was that, I don't want to sacrifice too much, but, I'm not really going in here just to say I'm going to a bigger school. I'm sure you've seen a lot of mid-major guards who probably starting to get some type of notoriety or just maybe a little bit known, and then they go in the portal and then they go to a high major school, and it's like, geez, what happened to them? They don't do anything. So those were the schools that I felt like I would go in and have an impact at, and those were kind of schools that needed a player like me. They needed a combo guard who can score and still bring it up and get the team involved and things like that. So, I feel like if I just put them all on the line, all those schools would have been even. Then after that, it was just going out with what I thought was best. So, and I ultimately thought it was to be back at Bowling Green.
Personally, I was rooting for Marquette to see you pair up with DJ Carn in the backcourt and with Darcy Garcia at the 4. That would have been a deadly team. But I think you made the right choice staying at Bowling Green.
No, I appreciate that. But it's funny, though, because I don't even know because Carr did after me, I think. So, I don't know if I commit, I wonder if that would even, happen. You never know.
That would have been a crazy backcourt.
Yeah, definitely.
How excited were you and the fans of Bowling Green State that you finally recommitted?
Man, it was a good, exciting moment. It was during all this quarantine, man. So everybody was still kind of, just inside, and my phone was just nonstop, kind of like it was when I was in the portal. It was like I was doing media stuff the whole week, and just everybody was pretty excited, So hopefully we get a season and we can just, reap the benefits.
Personally, I think there will be a season because I see it kind of flip-flops a lot of the time. I'm hoping there is. So do you think you're going to be an NBA draft pick next season? This time next year, do you think you'll be in the NBA draft?
I don't know. It's just, of course I want to. I want to play at the highest level, and I want to play with the best. I think I am one of the best college players in the country. So, all I can ask for is the opportunity, though. I'm going to put the work in. I'm going to try to lead us to a tournament bid. Obviously, for us, that means winning our conference. But, I'm going to do my best to put the work out there in the front. And if people think it's should happen, then it'll happen, I got to kind of just let that one go and just let my play and everything do the talking for us. So, I don't really think a lot of people don't realize how good NBA players are. Like that's a hard it's a hard thing to do, and to get the opportunity, that'll be a blessing.
I think I got my money on you going pro this time next year in the NBA, but I think that's all up to you to prove me right.
Oh, thanks, bro. I'm gonna do my best.
Let me paint you a little scenario. So let's say you are an NBA 2 guard. If you could choose any other players to build around you to form a championship team, who would they be? So 1, 3, 4, 5.
1 through 5?
You're the 2.
Okay, so the other 4?
Yeah.
Okay, so 1, I'm gonna go. Man, this is 1. I'm gonna go Steph Curry at the 1. I'm the 2. 3 man. Who would I go for 3 man? I would go LeBron. I would just get all superstars, honestly. LeBron, I'll probably get Giannis at the 4, and then at the 5, I would get 5 man. I'm trying to think of all the dominant 5 mans right now. Honestly, I kind of like JaVale McGee. I like how he's been playing with the Lakers. I probably get him.
That's an interesting choice. I haven't heard that one before.
Yeah.
What would your role in that team be?
My role is to make sure, I'm doing whatever I got to do to keep the team afloat. It's going to be scoring on that team. It's going to be leadership with LeBron and seasoned vets. So I'm just there to make sure everything is just, going afloat.
You'd just be happy to be there?
Exactly.
So I'm going to switch gears on you. This is called the speed round. I'm going to say a word, and you're going to say a phrase or memory or sentence, whatever comes to your mind first. You can say, you can speak, you can do it.
Okay.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Motor City.
Detroit.
Renaissance.
High school.
March Madness.
Bowling Green Falcons 2021.
Okay. Best team in Ohio.
Bowling Green.
Not Cleveland?
You're right, Cleveland Cavaliers. I get that.
Good honesty. Justin Turner.
I don't know. That's a good one. I don't even know what to say to that one. I'm being too slow. Let's say future draft pick.
I like to hear that one. So I'm going to switch it up on you one more time. This is called Recruit Me. It might not look like it, but picture me as a 5-star point guard from Los Angeles. And I cut my list down to 4 schools. UCLA, Marquette, Michigan, and can you guess the 4th one?
Bowling Green.
Bowling Green.
That's right.
So how are you going to convince me to commit to Bowling Green so we can form the best backcourt in the NCAA?
You from LA, right?
Yep.
My pitch is basically to you is basically, do you want to win a championship and have a chance at making the NCAA tournament run? You'll go down as a legend here, get to play the best, get to play on one of the better mid-major teams in the country, and the rest is history. You want to win or not.
How's the coach? How's Coach Eric Huger or Michael Huger? I'm sorry about that.
No, you're good. Coach is really good. He lets you play. He's a player's coach. He's played at Bowling Green. He's played overseas. He know the ins and outs of the game. He listens to you. He communicates well with the players. I think you'll really like it, and you'll have the freedom to play your game and not feel restricted and things like that.
Personally, I'm a big fan of Mick Cronin, coach of UCLA.
Yeah.
So how would Coach Huger differ from Mick?
They're definitely different styles. I don't know too much about Coach Mick. We actually played him, and he is more rowdy and maybe more fiery when it comes to things like that. But also, you get the same things from Coach Huger, just in a different form, different variety. At that point, it just depends on what's more comfortable for you and whatever you think that'll help you play your best.
What's game day like at the Stroh Center? How are the fans?
Man, this past year the fans are crazy. You know, our arena only sits by 6,000, so obviously not the biggest. But you know, this past year, the better we got, our fans ramped up every game, and towards our conference at the end of the season, you know, we start selling out basically almost close to every game. So you know, the fans and things like that won't be a problem.
If I commit, what's next?
Commit, we get straight to work. You know, we're working on getting in that tournament.
I like to hear that. So I think I've heard enough. With everything you've said, I'm going to decide to commit to the Bowling Green State University.
Yes, sir. That's a nice hat.
Falcons.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. It's falling off a little bit. Haven't got my real one shipped yet.
No, we're going to have to get you one.
So here comes 4 straight MAC championships, 4 straight March Madness championships. I'm sorry you won't be part of the last 3 of each, but we'll get you one on the way out.
Yeah, start of a dynasty.
Well, that concludes this episode of For Goodness Take. Justin, thank you so much for being on the show. Any final questions or comments?
No, man. Just thanks for having me, man. I have fun doing this. Appreciate you.
Of course. Best of luck to you in the future, and I will see you in the NBA draft.
Yes, sir.